what's up guys? My name is Chris Jack. I'm a sneaker collector, the creator and host of sneakerstories.tv on Instagram and YouTube, and welcome to my room. I think I got into sneakers through DJing actually. It happened in around 2009 when I was doing a DJ tour for Adidas. They were doing a campaign at that time called the Go All In campaign with Daft Punk and DJ Medi and a couple of other guys. And I was part of the local sort of outlet of that. And that's where I was able to go to Adidas's headquarters, pick out some samples, and they basically kitted us out for this particular DJ tour. And I picked up a pair of Star Wars top 10 lows and a couple of other pairs which were in really awesome packaging. And from there I was like, hold on a second, there's so much more to these sneakers that I was just seeing in the stores or whatever it was. And from there it kind of just kept on growing and growing. There were more and more collaborations. There were more and more collaborations with people that I looked up to, that were inspirations for me. And it became kind of an obsession to be able to acquire these things that were really, really difficult to get. And I think like from a culture perspective, on the whole, like I think sneakers really unify people in a way that nothing else can. Like you just need to look at the line outside the next Yeezy drop, for example, outside shelf life, to really see how everybody is coming together for one like common goal of a pair of shoes. That for me has always been awesome. I've made so many friends and so many connections just through buying sneakers over the years. So that's kind of why I'm still in it and kind of why I want to give back as much as I can to this culture. So Sneaker Stories was basically born out of a passion project. At the time, obviously, Instagram had just launched Instagram Stories, and I obviously had all DJ and music followers. That's what people knew me for. They didn't know me as a sneaker collector. It wasn't something that I'd ever really wanted to show, I guess. And then until I built this room behind me, I had taken a photo on my personal Instagram account, Chris Jack, and people were like, what is that? Why is there room for your shoes? And there was more to offer from a content perspective here. So I kind of formalized that into its own channel, sneakerstories.tv. It's something where I can basically offer information and hard to find information on particular pairs, and really focus on the stories, the design, the materials and all of that behind a pair of shoes, and give that to people for free essentially, before they end up paying resale for a pair that might not fit them, or they might not actually know if they like the shoe or not. They haven't seen it on foot. There's a whole bunch of like things like that, which I had this immense privilege of owning all these shoes, and to be able to share that with people who don't have them or who are looking to get them, just kind of seemed obvious for me, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, that's pretty much where Sneaker Story started and still where it is today. Yeah, I think for me, collecting shoes is a proper rush. I think like being able to acquire pairs that are very, very hard to find is almost better than playing to 10,000 people. And I think that's what I've kind of realized over the years, is that this right here, although it might not look healthy to some, it's definitely a lot healthier than probably where I was DJing and leaving clubs at 5 in the morning. I'm now lining up at 5 in the morning to cop the next pair of kicks. And as I mentioned, I've been incredibly privileged to be able to get all of these shoes over the years, and I work hard for it. And I have to sometimes trade pairs to be able to get other pairs, and every single week there are new pairs coming in this room, which is a hell of an exciting life to live, at least for me. There's a guy out of Japan who I was lucky enough to actually go shooting with on my last trip to Japan with ASICS. His name's Landy, London to Hong Kong. You can check him out, LDN2HK. He's probably one of my biggest influences in terms of streetwear and just fashion in general. I really, really value his opinion on that. There's also another guy out of Japan called Reggie, who goes under the name The Casual. He's also just super consistent, really, really awesome product, and very authentic as well in terms of his reviews, and just his knowledge on product is just really, really good. There are obviously other guys like Seth Fowler, who I've always sort of looked up to as like the best sneaker reviewer out there. And then there's obviously other guys as well, your more famous ones who have millions of followers like Kiers and all of those guys. I generally just watch them because I think they make really funny content. Look, I think local sneaker culture is quite twofold for me. Obviously, we follow global trends, albeit a couple of months later, style, fashion, and footwear even will all come through a couple of months later in South Africa. It's just how things work out. But I say it's twofold because we've also got an outgoing culture, a very, very rich and cultural, diverse culture here in South Africa, where it comes to fashion and designers and our own kind of culture that we have just right here. We've got massive movements like Bubble Corper, etc., that have completely stemmed from South Africa, which are now gaining global attention. There is a big shift between what people are into here in Cape Town, but to me that's also just kind of a silo of the culture. I don't think it speaks for everybody, especially from Cape Town. As you say, Joburg is a lot maybe more diverse in terms of what they are collecting personally. But yeah, for me, I don't think I'm really influenced by any particular movement, anywhere in the world. My collection is very diverse when it comes to brands, silhouettes, colors, all of that kind of stuff. I like to keep it exciting. So I think my most valuable sneaker right now is a shoe that I've been working on trying to get for 3 years. And there's only 50 of them in the world. It is the Parley for the Oceans Ultra Boost. This was never sold to the public. It was only attainable by entering a competition or donation through to the Parley for the Oceans campaign. But this shoe for me has really changed production of shoes into sustainability and using ocean plastic for Adidas forever. I mean, pretty much all shoe production will be moving into this sphere of sustainability, and this shoe really represents that to me. Further to that, this particular pair was hand woven from one gill net pulled out of the ocean, 72 kilometer one by Sea Shepherd, and manufactured in Germany as well. So there's a hell of a lot of value in this particular pair, not just from a monetary perspective, but just from a shift in the way that we see sneaker production today. I think a lot of people assume that I'm more weighted towards Adidas than any other kind of brand, and I guess that is true to some degree. I've had relationships with Adidas from the beginning of my sort of collecting time, but having a review platform like Sneaker Stories requires me to be completely unbiased towards brand, and that's something that I truthfully am. Although I might have a lot of Adidas stuff in here, it's almost just from the amount of years that I've been collecting. But you'll also find pairs from all kinds of brands across the board here as well. So if I'd have to keep 2 shoes in my collection, it would be these, the Kith Friends and Family Aspen Pacaroni Fag and the Parley for the Oceans Ultra Boost. My goal for Sneaker Stories for 2020 and beyond is really to grow the platform as big as possible. Obviously, with the move onto YouTube recently, I've had to basically start this whole growth process there and adapt content, but I really like to see that grow and get the subscriber counts up, and obviously also my Instagram page, and then obviously from a content perspective as well, something that I've been really itching to do is to try and include more women's stuff as well, maybe grow the team of Sneaker Stories so it's not just me doing the content, maybe get somebody else in here that can focus on women's stuff, that can focus on apparel or toys or everything like that. I really want to just expand the content offering of Sneaker Stories itself. But yeah,